What's up, boys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm on UFC 5 and we are going to see who in the entire game Alex Pereira cannot knock out. Since this is a test of chin strength and Amazon rainforest bone density, these fights will be in stand and bang mode only, so no wrestling or ground and pound will be allowed whatsoever, and the computers will control fighters on pro difficulty. To do this, I have every fighter in the game lined up to fight Alex. We'll start with the flyweights, go down the list in alphabetical order, then move on to the next weight class and repeat this process until we have seen him go against every fighter in the game. Alex will be fighting at 205 pounds, so these lower weight classes like the 125ers were pretty easy for him to get through. The most success anyone had in this weight class was done by Brandon Moreno. He checked a leg kick, which damaged Alex for the first time in 7 fights. He almost made it to a third round, but he was cut short by 2 seconds. And for the rest of the flyweight division, next up is the bantamweight division, so all of these fighters will be adding on 10 pounds, but it still didn't make much of a difference in these fights. Although 5'3" John Dodson, of all people, became the first fighter to stun Alex after somehow jumping a foot up in the air and still beating Alex to the high kick. That bought Dodson some time, but that still wasn't enough. In the following fight, we had another breakthrough and Merab was able to make it to the 3rd round. He didn't do anything too spectacular on offense other than hurting Alex's fist and feet with his face. Merab's record time of 12 minutes and 11 seconds in the cage with him didn't come close to being broken in this division, as every other fighter, champ, Dagestani, or Make-A-Wish kid wasn't able to last with Poatan. Once we moved up to the featherweight division, there was a big improvement in the first fight. Jose Aldo was able to stun Alex multiple times and even knocked him down for the first time. So at this point, it might be possible to win a round against him, but Alex still got his payback by kicking him in the head so hard it knocked the wind out of him, and then he followed that up by knocking the oxygen out of his brain. Although the rest of the featherweights didn't have as much success against him in the early run-ins. Giga Chikadze set a new record by lasting 12 minutes and 43 seconds with Alex. That might have something to do with him being one of the first 6-foot-tall fighters to face him, but it still ended the same way for him in the end. The rest of the featherweight division did nothing noteworthy against Alex besides getting knocked out in funny ways and painting the canvas with their own blood. But overall, the featherweight division improved to an average of 8 minutes and 4 seconds in the octagon, which is a pretty good increase from 7 minutes in the bantamweight division and just under 6 minutes in the flyweight division. The 155-pound lightweights are up next, and their average fight time was actually less than the featherweights. But I think it's due to the fact that some of these guys would be willing to stand and bang with God himself. Beneil Dariush set an all-time low by getting knocked out in just 1 minute and 42 seconds. This division clearly has some unstable fighters that aren't scared of Alex in the slightest, but time and time again it just left them unconscious and lowered their reading level by a few grades at a time.
Did the damage.
But finally, someone in the lightweight division had some elements of success against him. Bobby Green did not land a single health event on Alex throughout his entire fight, but just through sheer will, he took his beating for 3 rounds and became the first man to make it to the 4th. This set a new record for time in the cage with Alex, but it was broken once again and unsurprisingly by the BMF belt holder. And right after that, Hooker tried a new strategy of working the body. He stunned Alex there twice and became just the 3rd man to make it to the 4th round with him, which obviously comes at the price of good looks. But he ended up just 56 seconds away from becoming the first to make it to the 5th and final round with him. Honestly, I think Alex is in a slump right now. To be fair, he's fought over 70 times in the past day or two, so it's understandable. But Al Iaquinta, of all people, stunned him for a record of 5 times, and for the first time so far, Alex was actually showing some damage, before promptly sending Allen to the Shadow Realm. And again after that, he struggled when facing Michael Johnson, who became the first fighter to make it to a 5th round with Alex. But after that one, Alex got out of his slump and proceeded to knock out the entire rest of the division in less than 3 rounds.
Advantage has proven.
A lot of those strikes thereby putting.
I cannot believe how damaging that strike is.
Big knee there to the chest. Instead, a swing and a miss.
Next up for Alex is the 170-pound division. He still has a 35-pound weight advantage, but knowing Alex and how much weight he's willing to cut, none of these fighters are safe from fighting him in real life. Honestly, the first 8 welterweights could have fooled me for bantamweights. They looked less like professional fighters and more like children locked in a cage with Neil Magny. But Alex entered another low point against Jack Della Maddalena. In round 1, he was stunned by high kicks again, and he was rocked by an uppercut, which lost him his first ever round so far. So even though he won this fight by another brutal knockout, it's clearly possible for Alex to lose at this weight class. Nate Diaz has one of the strongest chins. Maybe he can do something against him. Just kidding. Rafael Dos Anjos took a knee to the face for his finish and looked unrecognizable after his fight. But Leon Edwards, the welterweight champ, set the bar higher than ever before. His face is showing some evidence of this fight, but Alex may never walk again. Leon had one plan and one plan only: attack his legs. And that got him deep into round 5. He was about to be the first man to go the distance with him until a very annoyed Alex Pereira emptied his load on Leon's jaw. No diddy. He was 3 seconds away from greatness, but still he was tied with Alex through 4 rounds. All it took was 14 leg health events and nothing else. Maybe the key to beating this man is paralyzing him. But Alex once again exited his slump. In the next 5 fights, no one made it out of the 2nd round. Alex really showcased his talents in the octagon when he hit Jing Liang so hard he started to frantically masturbate on the mat, before of course being knocked out. From here, Alex had some challenging welterweights in front of him, but he easily extended his record to 111-0.
We are talking.
Nice hook leg. Big left hook. Go to the leg kick here. Just not
His approach to this fight.
But out of nowhere, this historic run was stopped dead in its tracks by the hands of Mike Malott. All of a sudden, Alex Pereira looked like an amateur. Malott time and time again perfectly countered Alex, especially whenever he threw kicks. Alex read this man like Apple's terms and conditions in English and paid the price. Alex has finally lost to none other than the 4-star Canadian Mike Malott. And this wouldn't be the only loss for Alex in this division. He was defeated by Gunnar Nelson, who kicked him in the legs so many times a knee to the stomach and balls knocked him out cold. I don't understand it, but I don't question it. And for the 3rd and final time in the welterweight division, Diego Sanchez, of all people, the little sped Mexican that could, absorbed Alex's power like Space Jam and proceeded to outpunch this man and put him to sleep 2 minutes into the 2nd round. Besides that, Alex more or less dominated the welterweight division and in total is carrying a record of 126-3 with 126 knockouts.
Build back into this fight.
I know you can't necessarily. Brutal knee to the body. Establish that jab.
But in the middleweight division, this will be his last weight advantage and by only 20 pounds. Alex started this division off with 2 impressive knockouts per usual, but then he ran into prime and 2 eyes Michael Bisping, who discovered that Alex doesn't know how to guard a Superman punch. Alex again bounced back quickly and proved that he could dominate this weight class.
Oh my God!
He even showed off a new element of his game when he damaged the 185 champ's leg telepathically before ending his night with an old-fashioned leg kick. He then knocked out Gastelum and Royce Gracie, but Uriah Hall gave him some unexpected problems. Uriah distracted him with a leg-kicking battle, showed tremendous defense with his face, did a few front flips, and somehow that made him the first fighter to go the distance with Alex. Uriah still lost this fight, but he did so consciously. Alex took out a few more fighters before running into Robbie Lawler, who also lost by another decision. Robbie didn't have an excellent game plan, but the man can take a punch or a forward 150 at full speed. Alex came back with a few more knockouts, but again, it was looking like he was going to lose another fight against Shabazian. He was getting outstriked for most of this fight, but when it looked like the finishing blow was coming in, Alex somehow caught his chin in the nick of time and won this fight by knockout right before he went towards the light himself. Alex followed that momentum by sending Wanderlei Silva flying with a head kick, then taking out Chael Sonnen in just 3 minutes. He continued his onslaught against the rest of the middleweight division with no disruptions.
First, it is.
Nice job there. Reach advantage is. Dean steps in.
Except Darren Till forced a decision after draining all of Alex's energy by repeatedly taking his best shots. Light heavyweight started off rough for Poatan because he had to meet his arch rival Israel Adesanya in his very first fight. It was a back and forth matchup for 25 minutes straight, and somehow Israel won by a 1-round difference on the scorecards. Alex bounced back from that embarrassing loss and proved that he owns his current division by taking out everyone from Alvi to Forrest Griffin.
Beautiful left. Lighter on his feet. Great. Right.
But Alexander Gustafsson was another back and forth fight, except instead of running around for a decision, these two went back and forth shutting off each other's lights. And unfortunately, once again, Alex was caught while trying to throw his high kick. But Alex then went on his longest winning streak since being first knocked out in the first place, with 14 victories in a row.
Now he is taking advantage. Back to the well with that left hand. Just that.
One gets checked. Anderson Silva.
That'll do it. High potato. Well, it's all pace and pressure down the.
But I swear this game recognizes what I'm doing and will occasionally throw this man into a fighting slump for multiple fights in a row. He was caught in the middle of a high kick against OSP in the second round. He was having trouble against the 3-star Saki but revived his manhood with a left hook. He was knocked out and bent over by Anderson Silva. He was in a brawl with Anthony Smith that had the doctor close to stopping this fight in the fourth, but the only intervention needed was Smith's overhand right. That was the first time so far he's ever lost 2 fights in a row. So the great coach that Teixeira is, he went in there and took a dive for Alex. But again, this man continued his low point of his fighting career by being dominated by Johnny Walker. Alex finished off the light heavyweight division with knockouts against Chris Weidman and Dana White, and he'll be finishing his fighting record against opponents the same weight or lighter than him with an 184-10 record with a pretty impressive 181 knockouts. The heavyweight division was surely going to be his greatest challenge yet, but he started off strong with knockouts against opponents such as Muhammad Ali, Tom Aspinall, and Daniel Cormier. But he finally faced some real powerful competition against one of the Brazilian GOATs, Junior Dos Santos. Alex held his own for the beginning of this fight and exchanged knockouts with Junior, but Junior went on a bit of a hot streak at the end of the second when he knocked Alex down 3 times in under a minute. He even forced in some grounded pound with a kick on his downed opponent before knocking him out with 12 seconds left in the round. The great Diego Sanchez's record of knocking out Alex in 7 minutes and 8 seconds has stood strong this far, so it was no surprise that it took another GOAT of the sport to break that record. Fedor walked through Alex with ease and had him knocked out with 11 seconds left in the first round. Alex had a much needed break in action after that and was matched up with Cyril Gahn and Walt Harris for some target practice.
Oh, straight left hand.
This fight made it to the 4th round, in which John was trying to take out his legs, but who needs to check a leg kick with your leg when you have fist? Alex knocked down Jones, let him back up one more time before defeating him with the right. But what's scarier than John Jones and Stand and Bang? No, not Latifi. How about Derek Lewis?
Leg kicks are the weapon of choice early.
He's hurt. He's hurt.
Oh! doesn't seem to be hurting again. Throwing that jab, no good.
Stipe Miocic had a very even fight, but Alex landed the final blow, and Nogueira never stood a chance against him. I expected Oleinik, a former ground game specialist, to be his easiest fight in this division, but no, he was knocked out by him too. In his next 1,000 pounds of matchups, he did pretty well for himself. It took him 4 rounds to take out Overeem, but Pavlovich, Rosenstrike, and Severn were taken out in less than 3. Kimbo Slice is up next and is famous for doing stand and bang mode fights in backyard, so it was no surprise he was able to take care of Alex. Alex had a nice softball thrown at him in Spivak. Stefan Struve is always fun to see get knocked out, but sadly he fought an intelligent fight and destroyed his legs from a distance. Tuivasa is another man who would love nothing more than to stand and bang for every fight, so he did pretty well for himself, but it was Mike Tyson who gave him the most demoralizing defeat yet. And I don't think Alex would be fighting anytime soon after this knockout. He was already out cold, falling to the mat, but Mike thought that would be a perfect time to interrupt gravity with a full power uppercut to his temple. Cain Velasquez extended his losing streak to 4 after he tore apart his leg and tore apart his face with an overhand. But thankfully, Alex was able to end this mayhem with a victory over his final opponent, Alexander Volkov. And that will bring Alex's record to 202-19 with 199 knockouts. 4 fighters were able to go the distance with this man, but 18 men, half of them being heavyweights, were able to knock Alex out. His early fights were scheduled like a Russian up-and-comer, but still I think he did pretty well for himself in this ridiculous test. And who knows, maybe if they added a heavyweight version of him, it turned up his punching power a few notches, not randomly give fighters like Diego Sanchez god power. None of these guys would last 25 minutes with him. I know I wouldn't. But thanks for watching. Nagasaki was an inside job. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.